It's the Mark Mason Show on 1190 KEX.
I saw something really encouraging the other day. It kind of warmed my heart for just a moment. It was data gathered by the University of Kansas that said talking with a friend just once during the day can increase feelings of happiness and lower stress levels by day's end. It increases your well-being. Talking with a friend just once during the day. I thought, how cool is it? I think instinctively we all know that. I don't know if we practice that. And then all of a sudden my world kind of shattered like a Chinese balloon when, according to the World Economic Forum, a note came shortly thereafter that said Americans have far fewer friends than we did 30 years ago. And, I'm going to blame part of that on the pandemic, I suppose. We were so cocooned for so long. Maybe we're having trouble kind of connecting again with friends. Joining us here to talk about it is Lee Richardson. Lee is a brain health expert and coach at the Brain Performance Center in Dallas, Texas. And Lee, welcome to the Mark Mason Show.
Thanks for having me, Mark.
You saw this. You saw what I saw. And what was your reaction to that?
Well, my reaction was very similar to yours. At first, I thought, wow, just sharing a joke with somebody, or just being the one that listens, or just catching up, and even meaningful conversation, all of those make us feel connected. Mm-hmm. And when we feel connected, we have that, we're at peace with ourselves. And I think that's what we all want. We really and truly do. I think you're right. We all know it. It's just we're busy. We're really busy. And if we would just stop and think about, when can I pick up the phone and call somebody? And you don't have to be on the phone for 30 minutes. You probably don't have to be on the phone any longer than 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And plan that. Put that into your daily, what are the things, my daily goals, what I want to accomplish today. And I think that's a good first step to increasing all of our happiness and just well-being.
You're creating an epiphany for people listening right now who might have been struggling, or maybe still are. I know I do to a certain extent with that idea of reaching out and touching people again. Because we've been taught for the last 3 years, and I think it's been exacerbated by the pandemic, to kind of join tribes, if you know what I mean. It starts politically, and then it kind of boils over into other things, and you start looking at people differently when you know you shouldn't.
I was going to say, well, you do, because when we were told that we couldn't even be around our older relatives, when we were told we couldn't go to school, we couldn't go to church, we couldn't go to the gym, we lost our sense of community. And so that turns us more inward, and we isolate. And then some people are still afraid to come back out, and some people aren't afraid at all. I go to the grocery store and I'll see, maybe 30% mask and 70% not on one day, and on a different day it's different. Mm-hmm. So our normal origin has changed. It's shifted away. And I think the other thing, the pandemic, we can thank for that. But the other thing that has changed is technology. We used to need to interact a lot more. Used to, when you worked in an office, you'd walk down the hall and you'd talk to somebody. And now you can get Team Messenger on your computer, and you don't need to walk down the hall. You just open that little chat box, and that's the way you interact, and it is not the same.
Oh, Lee, this is we're glad we have you. This is in your wheelhouse. We've turned so inward. For heaven's sakes, we've lost our friends. Many of us have lost a lot of friends because of the tribalism. Heck, we have half our state who's thinking about wanting to join Idaho and leaving Oregon. They've become so engrossed in that idea they can't see the forest from the trees. But if we lose these friends through the internet or whatever, by being just kind of online, you're not engaging with a real human anymore. So you lose that touch that you say is part of our well-being every day. How, and you're a brain performance coach, how do we fight back that that feeling as we turn inward because it's safer. It's safer. I'm with my own people. I'm with myself. I don't need friends. How do we fight that?
Well, that's driven by fear. It's that fight, flight, or freeze state. And I think we have to catch ourselves in that. And one of the best ways to get out of that is to focus on your breathing. Calm that breath rate down. That'll calm that heart rate down. That calms that autonomic nervous system down. And then you've got to really make up your mind that, people are important to me. I need to just see somebody smile. I need to hear somebody laugh. Mm-hmm. And ask yourself, what am I going to do to make that happen? You can go to the grocery store and you can engage with someone there, and you can see a smile, you can get a laugh. You can reach out to your group, your tribe, and just say, I don't want to just keep texting you. I'd like to have a phone call with you. Because, I think when we text, the way that we process that information is very different. It just comes into our brain. It's broken down, it's sequenced, and we automatically react to it. There's no emotion in it. There's no connection.
How do we fight? How do you fight back for people who have no close friends? And there are those people out there, aren't there?
There are. Yeah. And, nothing makes you feel better than to help somebody. I encourage people all the time to volunteer. And it's a funny story. I was encouraging a young man yesterday, and I said, well, what do you think you'd like to do? A reptile sanctuary. I'm like, oh, okay. Let's get on Google. And whether you believe it or not, we actually found one within a driving distance. So, volunteer. And there's more volunteer activities out there than you think. There's Volley, VOLY.org. Or just like I did with the young man yesterday, I put that into Google to see what would come up. So find something that you enjoy and find an opportunity to be able to volunteer. I do not intend to go with him, but I am very grateful that he has something to get him out of his shell.
Yeah, we've all seemed to got our own shells here post-pandemic. And one conversation a day can help your well-being. That's kind of the accepted mantra now?
It is. And one a day.
Okay.
And you can even take it to one and done. But that one a day is what you've got to commit to.
All right. This is from the author of Turn Your Brain On to Get Your Game On, the how, what, and why of peak performance. It is Lee Richardson, who is a brain health expert and brain coach, and also the founder of the Brain Performance Center in Dallas, Texas. Man, we could spend a whole hour with you, Lee. I really appreciate the short time that we were able to spend together, and I think it's helped listeners kind of realize maybe that's what's got them kind of feeling down these days.
Absolutely. Thank you so